Hello.
How's it going?
Can you hear me? We're now live on YouTube. Yeah, going good. How are you guys?
Doing well. Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another EverRise AMA. We're looking forward to hearing some of your questions. So I noticed that we've had a couple of requests to come up already. But yeah, just get ready. We're just going to introduce ourselves. Jen, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so I'm Jen. I'm the Chief Business Officer over here at EverRise, and I know TJ is usually hosting, who's our Chief Communications Officer, but TJ is out representing EverRise right now at the Futurist Conference in Toronto. So for those of you guys wondering where he is crushing the conference floor.
Absolutely. He's sent a couple of selfies over that he's snapped with some quite well-known people in the space, and I'm sure you'll have lots to talk about over the next few days when he comes back. Peter, go ahead and introduce yourself for those that don't know who you are.
Hey everybody, my name is Peter. I'm an attorney and the manager of legal operations for EverRise. Nice to see everyone. Looking forward to the questions.
And I'm Jason. I am the Chief Marketing Officer at EverRise, and again, I'm very much looking forward to your questions. Jen, it's been a hot minute since we last had you. It's been a week. A week's been a long time since we've had you.
Yeah, a definite hot minute there.
Yeah, definitely. But we want to kick off with a tweet, really, don't we, Jen? I think.
I mean, I don't know, Jason. Do you think we should get some more emojis going on in Spaces?
I think we should see how would you guys like a tweet? A bit of maybe a.
Put some hands up. Show some clapping. Yeah, we go.
Get some excitement going. Do you want to get some excitement going, guys? It's not even midweek. Let's raise the blood.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, I like that. I guess I could put out a tweet. I'm gonna do my best TJ.
But I need everybody to get on this tweet. I need you to engage with it, like it, comment, and retweet it. We want to blow it up, and we want to use all the hashtags. Remember, guys, hashtag EverRise, hashtag Rise, $Rise. Get those. See if we can get Rise trending again. That'd be awesome if we can all get together and do that, and make sure to share it as well. Let me know when that tweet goes out, Jen, and we'll make sure to pin it in the nest as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost there. I hope you guys are all wildly speculating.
Absolutely. I put a video out earlier on for the eagle-eyed people on the YouTube talking about Everbridge too. Thank you for the kind comments on that video, and feel free to share that with others. But I'm looking for this tweet, Jen. I don't see the nest at the moment.
It is up in the nest.
Let's just have a look.
And it is also now pinned on our profile.
There we go, guys. Let's get on that tweet. Make sure to, like I said, like, retweet it, comment on the tweet also, get the engagement up. Are you excited as I am, Jen?
I mean, definitely. We've been talking a lot about, how we're going to distribute rewards. And I know that you, Buddy, and the rest of the marketing team has been hard at working on, blogs and walkthroughs of how exactly this is going to work. I know when we first initially talked about V1 liquidity, we put out 2 blog posts. We put out kind of like an overview of what we were going to do, and then the technical breakdown and the math of how we were distributing. But it's been so cool to watch it go from that blog post to a tangible feature in our DApps that we're testing. So I'm excited for everyone else to kind of dig in, and we've gotten to see the preview of what it's going to be like, and I think it's going to be really, really fun for the community to participate in the distribution of the rewards from V1 liquidity.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Let's back up a second and just remind everyone, in case anyone's new, what is even going on. When EverRise launched on June 15th of last year, Suresh did lock a lot of the version 1 liquidity, which became unlocked after a year, June 15th of this year. So all of that unlocked liquidity was not used for any purpose other than to promote further liquidity. And all of the tokens that were purchased with that liquidity will be distributed to stakers. So this tweet that is pinned in the nest now is hinting at the distributor contract that Ben and the rest of the team put together, by which the community itself will be able to trigger the distribution function with NFTs. So keep your eyes peeled on that. There's going to be more NFTs to receive in exchange for being the distributor. So it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be fun. Look at me. I'm the Kraken now, is basically the upshot here.
Absolutely. We're not calling it the Kraken, though. We're calling it the Leviathan.
Fair point, Jason. The buying function has already happened. This is all about distributing. You see a lot in the news lately, all across DeFi, there's projects that wind up with extra liquidity here and extra tokens there, and they're trying to find a way to put their tokens in their rightful hands. I'm really impressed with the way the team has put this contract together. It's a way to make sure that things get distributed fairly according to the DeFi holders' staking position. And that's kind of the way it should be. Liquidity should promote liquidity and nothing else. So very, very excited to see how this works out over the coming 480 days, isn't it? Isn't it like a year and a half thing? Yeah. So the only way to get access to these tokens is to stake them on EverRise on a V3 app, v3app.everrise.com. Most of you know that, but if you don't, that's how you stake. And if you have further questions on staking, please visit the Telegram, which you can find in our Twitter profile.
Or just come up and ask us, because that's what.
We're right here, Jason. We're right here.
We had a couple of requests. We'll get you up as soon as we can. But yeah, super excited for this. Dev team, like Peter says, has been really hard at work on this and many other things as well. We've had some recent onboards as well, Jen, which we've been really happy with, and more onboards in the pipeline too, which she shakes her head. That's all we can say. So yeah, it's nice to see more further adoption of our DApps as the EverRise, the tool set of the EverRise community kind of expands out into the space, and more project developers use it. But yeah, do you guys want to? Should we get some questions? Should we get the community coming up?
Let's
do
bring
it.
some folks up.
Yeah, guys, request to come up. We'll get you up. I see we've got Niall Buckley has requested to come up. Hey, Niall.
There's Niall. As Niall's connecting and unmuting, if you have questions on Discord, on Telegram, on the YouTube feed, just type them in. Jason and I will be monitoring, so if you're not the spaces type, just write it down and put it in your favorite social platform. Niall, what's up?
Niall, you just need to unmute your mic in the bottom left-hand corner, and then you'll be able to speak to us. In the meantime, we've got a question here from Shiva Kumar. Why don't you think of fundraising so that you can hire quality 10 to 20 developers so that they can individually build modern solutions in this space? Good question.
I'll take that.
Go for it, Jen.
So we are actively fundraising currently. For those of you who know, or in case you missed it, we are raising a seed round. This has been something that we've been in process on for a while. This is also something that just takes a long time to put together in terms of finding the right partners. But this is something that we are actively doing for that exact reason. So we can scale the team. We can basically scale everything that we're doing now because we're currently a really, really small team in comparison to most. We're about 14 people. And we're at that inflection point where we've seen enough adoption, right? We've seen enough traction within our ecosystem that we know it's now time to go out and find external capital and bring in proper capital partners that see the vision for EverRise and can help us take it to the next level. So the thing about fundraising, though, is I will, beyond that's not even an update. That's just to get you caught up to speed. But we won't be making any announcements around our seed round or our venture round until it's closed. But it is something that we are actively doing.
Absolutely. I do want to just bring up that Twitter is having some issues at the moment. We've got people that are unable to connect to the space. And I'm on my phone also unable to actually load up the EverRise Twitter's feed. So there's definitely some issues with Twitter at the moment. We apologize for that. Just bear with it and just keep trying. If you can't get in, if you're watching on YouTube and you want to get in on Twitter, just bear with it. And we've obviously got YouTube as well. If you're unable to listen to us on Twitter, you've got YouTube as an option. Don't see any other questions. I see Niall. I got Eric.
Eric is here as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey Eric, how are you?
Good, thank you. So I just had a question about any possibility of, is it still on the roadmap of 2022 to add some new chain or?
So
okay.
When it comes to adding new chains, the most important thing is that the liquidity be stable. Currently, we're still in a bear market. There's been some upticks along the line. But if we were to add a new chain like right at this point, kind of the price impact on each particular blockchain would be kind of out of whack. So it's not exactly a question of development hours so much as responsible growth at the moment. So, I mean, the short answer is that it's hard to predict when the appropriate moment will be. Liquidity would have to be more stable before we did it, in other words. And Suresh is always watching for opportunities, right? Like in January, when we branched to Avalanche and Phantom, that came specifically because of a steep market downturn with a little bit more kind of capital on the Ethereum and Polygon side than the new chains. So Suresh jumped all over it. It wasn't planned. It was just like, let's be advantageous here and create stable liquidity pools while we can. So new chains is a tough one to put on any specific date on the roadmap, just because it's a function of math rather than a function of like when we can achieve it. Yeah. So the feeling is now that the time would not be appropriate, and we're quite stable across 5 chains, but we're always looking for the right time and for the right opportunity. I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but the question itself is a very fact-specific one.
It would actually be quite irresponsible to just do it without the optimal conditions being present. Like Peter says, it's all about balance. We certainly don't want to unbalance our liquidity across our chains. So as soon as an opening comes available, I'm sure that Suresh and the team will jump on that and communicate it with everybody first. But we are, I mean, our position is clear. Our position has always been that we want to see Rise on as many blockchains as possible. We will go to more blockchains. It's a question of just finding those optimal conditions in the market to do so.
Right. And Suresh has said that, I mean, this is a decision that does belong to the community. So, Eric, if you or if anybody has run some analysis or whatever that would show like why a particular chain would be appropriate and how the kind of math would work, like everybody is always welcome to kind of pop over to the Discord or the TA chat where people can talk about these things. And if folks think that, you know, Suresh's position is wrong, just please go ahead and talk to us in TA. Suresh keeps an eye on the Telegram channels. He keeps an eye on the Discord. So if there becomes a movement to branch out to a new chain immediately that's backed by analysis, that's definitely something that the community can vote on over time as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's important to say that. And also, like, whenever such a time that, you know, Suresh and the team discovers an opportunity to open up another chain, that would also be something that the community would have to vote on, right? That would be something that we would put to the community, and only by the consent of the community would we do it via EverRise.
Okay. When that time would come, do you think that it would be like there would be like 2 or 3 chains that would be a possibility? In a sense that, like, if the time comes and it's this specific chain, but people don't like that chain for whatever reason, it's only specific to that chain? Or I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, the choice of which chain it would be is an important one as well. Obviously, you want to pick a chain that's going to exist for decades to come. But, you know, if you think about, Suresh once tweeted that holding the Rise token is almost like an ETF comprising the 5 blockchains we're on. So any responsible diversified asset kind of compositional set will include higher risk assets and lower risk assets. And so the way it's currently set up, you know, Ethereum is out there, kind of the most, you know, widely adopted chain, and then from there you kind of branch out to BNB, which has got the backing of Binance, and then Phantom and Avalanche, which are more up and coming, that sort of thing. So the next one, you know, there's support for various different ones. Most people suspect that the best choice would be something that's also EVM compatible, like a CRO or like a Harmony. Others think that a chain like Solana or whatever might be more, you know, interesting, despite the fact that it's in Rust. I mean, there's a lot of adoption. So that's a question that's up to Suresh and the community to hash out. You know, and you know, Suresh is always listening. So in terms of when it might be appropriate, again, like, we just can't predict because it's a question of what the liquidity looks like, and we don't want there to be a situation where all of a sudden liquidity is paper thin and you're seeing significant impact on buys and sells, and then the arbitrage gets out of whack, and then you start to see kind of these externalities operating on the liquidity pool, which drain value for everybody. So it's important to get it right, and it's important to like do significant analysis. But as to which chain, that's kind of a back and forth conversation between the community and the devs, really.
And when it comes to actually talking about the chain, you know, if we do go onto a new chain, you know, it will be communicated quite quickly before we plan on doing it. It'll be something which would be like literally days before going to that chain, because we don't want to talk about identifying a chain weeks in advance, because lots can happen in those weeks, right? So it would have to be literally an opportune moment to do it. And you asked the question, could there possibly be more than one chain? I mean, there's a possibility for that, yes, but again, it really all falls down to conditions and where we stand with the liquidity. So there is definitely a possibility there, but we also have to be mindful of various factors. We can't just we have to be responsible when it comes to deciding and making decisions based on liquidity and moving to more chains. That's for sure.
Okay. And one more question. In the past, when we've onboarded a new chain, the amount of the liquidity that goes into buying that native coin is roughly around 1 million USD, or
it would be a question of, if we add a sixth chain, you would want the natives to be roughly equal on each chain, with perhaps kind of a bias towards BSC and Ethereum, because if either chain is going to have more volume, it's going to be those two. So it would be simply a question of looking at how much liquidity exists and then dividing it by 6 instead of 5, really. But
Okay.
and anybody that's wondering where to find the best and current up-to-date stats on this can go to data.everrise.com/stats. You can see exactly how much liquidity is in our primary pools, exactly how much liquidity is in our secondary pools, which is the Kraken, and like hundreds of other statistics that Ben has compiled via our association with Chainlink. Shout out to Ben and shout out to the stats page as the best use of Chainlink technology, by the way. Congratulations on that award. I check that every hour. I'm a little obsessed. But yeah, data.everrise.com/stats is your go-to source for all things liquidity and informational statistics.
And obviously, one last thing I'll say on liquidity is the more chains we go to currently, the more we spread our liquidity across more chains, the thinner that liquidity becomes, right? So that it's great if you're getting buys because it will impact the chart more, but also it will, it's also unstable when more volatility when it comes to sells. So you're going to see more of a price impact if the thinner your liquidity is. So again, responsibility when it comes to getting to the decision of opening up more chains, but it is something which will happen in time. That's for sure.
Okay, thank you for answering my questions. Have a great day, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric. Super important questions, by the way. Suresh has said many times that, the best future use case, or not use case, but the future of the RISE token involves being and existing on every credible long-term blockchain. So it's just a question of when that's mathematically possible or optimal, really.
Yeah, I think it's more optimal. If we wanted to, we could open up 1 or 2 more chains now, maybe 3 or 4. But essentially, it would do so much damage to the stability of the liquidity that it would be completely irresponsible. And we've seen projects that have, we've all probably seen projects that have set their liquidity wrong, or they've had the very thin liquidity. That can cause massive problems when it comes to volatility and security and investors' confidence. So, the fact that we certainly are on 5 chains right now, and we're doing very healthily on each and every single one of them. Our liquidity is very strong, very healthy. Is a testament to the decision making that Suresh, Ben, and the team do on a day to day. I see we got. Could we just try one more time, see if Niall is going to speak? I know he's still up here. Niall, are you there?
If not, I see Valent has been requesting over and over and over again, and I think it may be a Twitter problem, Valent. Yeah. We can't get you up, but if there's a way you can find your way to Telegram or Discord or just DM one of us, and we'll try to get your question out.
Unfortunately, Twitter is experiencing a major problem at the moment. Lots of countries reporting that it's down. So we apologize that that it's coincided with our AMA.
So yeah, we're keeping our eyes on all channels. So if anyone has a question that just you can't get on stage for one reason, just text us, message us, find a social channel, and we'll do our best. What else we got going on, Jason? We have any events coming up this week?
Yes, we've got AMAs. There's an AMA going to be taking place in a Telegram group. Myself and you will be in that. Just about an hour after this AMA is finished. It's Crypto Bumble is the Telegram group. They want to find out more about EverRise. So looking forward to telling them more about EverRise. Then we've got later this evening, we've got the Useless project have added EverRise to their trading app, their mobile trading app, and they want to also have us on their Twitter Spaces. So I'm looking forward to flying the EverRise flag with you, Peter, this evening on their Twitter Spaces also. And then we've got later in the week, we've got a bit of a special YouTube stream, which you'll find out about a little bit closer to the time. That's all I can say too much. I don't want to say too much just now, but once we get everything all confirmed, that'll be that information will be out. So yeah, a few events looking forward to, and
I hope folks can also drop by tomorrow night's session on macroeconomics and DeFi. I've got a couple of speakers lined up, some guests, Tasha Labs and Patrick Scott. These are guys that have studied economics a lot. And, when you think about macroeconomics, you think about the fact that there's only a certain amount of goods and value in the world. And so a lot of us focus very narrowly on EverRise, DeFi, or even crypto, but there are always greater forces at play. So it's going to be kind of an academic discussion on just all of those forces and how we might try to find our narrow edge in our own little corner of the world when we look at the wider world. So that's going to be tomorrow, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is midnight UTC. It's going to be a great discussion, and I hope to see you guys here. Please keep an eye on my Twitter and the EverRise Twitter for details on that. I'm delighted to get Tasha, first of all. Like, if you follow her, she brings a lot of legitimacy, and as EverRise continues on its journey towards a proper altcoin rather than just yet another BSC project, in my view, this is a nice step that we can take. So I'm really chuffed to have her on tomorrow night, and I hope that I can get a nice, good field of EverRise community members to welcome her.
Yes, and also a reminder that we have an ongoing competition in Reddit. If you go over to Reddit, make sure that you get onto the banner design competition. So we're allowing people to design the next EverRise Reddit banner. So in the Reddit forum, you'll see the thread there. In that thread, you'll get the link to submit your design. We very much look forward to see the designs being submitted by the community, because we've got some very talented artists within our community, and I'm sure it's going to be really hard to pick the best one. But that's running for the remainder of this month. Also, if you're not on Reddit, sign up, get onto our Reddit. I mean, there's a lot of really great information, some real good community members that chill out on Reddit, some really good reading material. I know TJ likes to spend some time before going to sleep on Reddit, just reading through the threads. People do like to write. It's a great way of digesting information about EverRise, and we're almost at 10,000 subscribers on our Reddit. So get on there, and also an opportunity to talk about our Discord and Telegram if you're not already on those. You can find the link to Telegram in our Twitter, and our Discord is literally at EverRise. So if you can search for our server directly within Discord. Any other questions, guys, that you see?
I see Valent requesting over and over again. It's a bit like Sisyphus at this point. Please DM us if you have a question and are not getting called up, or if we're not seeing your...
It's a bug because I don't see him requesting, but I do see Hakuna's requested. So I'll bring Hakuna up. Hello, Hakuna.
Hey, Jason.
It's TJ.
Oh, hey, TJ.
Oh my god.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on?
Together.
We are together.
Wow, you changed your voice really well. You sound like TJ.
I've been working on it for a while now. We had lots of practice.
Guys, this is so insane because not too long ago, Waso and I were with Akuna on a Spaces, and now Akuna's with TJ on a Spaces. Guys, how's the conference? It looks awesome.
Oh man, they got kicked down, it looks like. Oh wait.
No, we're here. We're here. It's the conference is great. A lot of people, a lot of networking, tons of networking. It's nonstop. I'll say, Jen, unlike Miami when we were there, this is very different because this is all blockchain and there are no maxis here. It's all about the innovation and the solutions, and we've had some pretty amazing conversations about the protocols. And Peter, I sent you a message about some of the contacts I've made here. It's pretty wild, the networking here.
Guys, thank you. I mean, you guys are out there representing EverRise, representing innovation, representing change. So I wish I were there. We miss you. What have you got going on? Any good events tonight?
Believe it or not, I got invited to go to some barbecue pit by a bunch of lawyers here. I don't know why EverRise keeps surrounding me with lawyers, Peter.
Can't get away from us.
There's a disproportionate amount of lawyers in cryptocurrency.
Well, we must be in the right circles, Jason, if we're following the projects that are aligning with council to navigate the space.
Absolutely. It's a good sign, right? It really is.
Yeah, we had fun. I just discovered there's a second floor here I didn't hit. I have to go up there. I saw like Dora Hacks has a booth and people like that. So we're having fun walking around, meeting people. Nothing beats FaceTime and networking.
Absolutely. People on YouTube are asking about Twitter issues. Yes, Twitter's having some issues at the moment. I do apologize for those that are trying to get up here and speak with us. What's the internet like in Canada, Akuna?
I don't know if all of Canada is wired with a couple tin cans and some string, but this is pretty abysmal, man. I'm surprised I've been connected this long. I suddenly have a whole new appreciation for the suffering that TJ has trying to do what he does every day.
It's crazy that that's even a thing, you know? Like,
Jen, I told TJ, I'm like, this is Toronto. This is like Toronto. There's no T at the end. I forgot that. I'm sorry. I just gave myself away. But it's a massive city, beautiful city. Everybody's been nice, it's incredible. But to see that the infrastructure for the internet and cell service is what it is, I'm kind of disappointed.
Sounds like
I don't know if I'm losing service or what when you're up here.
No. We're just waiting for Twitter to get its act together so we can have some more of the community up. The one thing that the Canadian internet seems to permit, Hakuna and TJ, is that you're up on the stage.
Yes.
That is true. We are here.
TJ, how does it feel that you're missing the AMA? It's the first AMA you've missed, isn't it?
This is the first AMA I've missed, I think, ever. But you haven't technically missed it. He's on it right now. I am here. Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, I tuned in listening, and we had kind of divide to conquer. We ended up in different areas, and I messaged him and told him where we were. And he's walking up and like, in spaces, should I request? He's like, yeah.
Should I request? Well, I'm interested in knowing why he came upon your phone. Does he not have service on his phone then?
Well, what's funny is I had Verizon and I discovered traveling that our business plan covers up here, so that was a pleasant surprise. But unfortunately, I'm still tied to the network that TJ endures daily.
You're doing fine at the moment, so it's great to hear. And it's great to hear that you've met so many different people and that they've got functions going on and events. And it goes on till tomorrow, the end of tomorrow. Yeah, is that right? 2-day event? Yeah, it's on till tomorrow. And I also learned up here that Vitalik is from Canada and he's Canadian. And this is apparently the birth city of Ethereum. And he will be here to speak tomorrow. And I didn't know any of that. So there's a lot here of Ethereum and connections of Layer 2 solutions and other stuff that's really cool. Wait, Vitalik's Canadian? I didn't know that. Yep. Neither did I, Jason, but I learned that he is from here. And, Ethereum was written not very far from where we are, right? Isn't that where it started?
Didn't he go to University of Waterloo?
He left because of the cell service. You missed that one line.
Oh. Sorry, what was it, TJ?
TJ said he must have left because of the cell service. Apparently, the internet was so bad, Vitalik couldn't stay in Toronto. They want us to bring you live on YouTube, but we can't do that, I'm afraid. They're partying in where is it? Toronto. What center is it? We're at a place called the Rebel, and we're sitting down by the water with a nice dog. It's kind of romantic. TJ and I feel like we should be holding hands, but Meg's here with us. Can we look forward to some selfies posted on Twitter later on today? Docs, right? At this point, it doesn't really matter, does it? I feel like when we do it, though, it needs to be big. That's kind of what we were talking about. Yeah, that's true.
Wait, I feel like you guys can tease it, you know, like hold hands, take a picture of you guys holding hands, send that out.
Look, one of you looking the other way, away from the camera.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like if it gets enough engagement, then maybe like we just get a photo of TJ with Akuna kind of slightly cropped.
No, Jen, the sun setting, and then Akuna can have his head in front of the sun, so you can't see his face. That'd be really nice.
You guys put a lot of thought into this, huh?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what we do here. We think about all the ways we can execute on things.
Oh, there's so much potential here. There's no way. I just said to TJ, I'm mute. I'm like, we can milk this for a while.
That's great.
The community to stay engaged. They need to do things, Jason. We need to see some banner submissions for Reddit. We need to see more tweeting. We need to see more trending.
Absolutely, and the community is on it. Once Twitter gets its act sorted out, we're gonna all get onto that tweet. And for those of you who can, what did you get a chance to see the tweet that we put out, Akuna?
I didn't. We're on the official, and I need to go take a peek and see. Yeah. Hang on.
Well, you're doing. Since we're trying to do an AMA here, we are getting questions, or at least one question on the Telegram main chat. It's concerning that very tweet. Sorry?
Sorry, I thought I was muted. I didn't mean to yell over you, Peter.
That's all right. They want to know when the distribution will begin. of version 1 tokens. We don't have a date yet. We wouldn't put the tweet out if we didn't think it was worth tweeting about. But they're doing final checks.
Can we say the word? Can we say the word?
Let's not.
No, please don't.
Listen. It's at the point where we've put a tweet out. Let's just say that. Okay. So just keep your eyes peeled is all I'll say.
And anyone else that has questions, again, there's many avenues available. Type it in YouTube, type it in Telegram, type it in Discord, or DM us. Or you can keep on trying to request on Twitter Spaces. It works for some, but not all.
Yeah, and also to touch upon the V1 distributor as well, it's not a straightforward contract. There's so much that's like kind of you've got to test. You know, it's testing and testing and testing. When it comes to that amount of Rise tokens, we can't just push it live as soon as possible. There's got to be rigorous checks, testing, making sure that everything works across all of the 5 chains. Because as you know, once we push it live, that's it. It's open for everybody then. So we want to make sure that we're internally we're all fine and happy with it. And as soon as it passes all of the checks, which I'm sure it will.
There was another hype video that you made, and I was saying I wonder if we're going to get that video out as well. Because that one was pretty great too.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll work out when the best time for that one will be, and I'll just change there's the slight amendment to the UI that Storm sent me, so I'll change that too. But yeah, I think that video is quite a cool one. This is kind of like the mysterious reveal. And next one will be the kind of it's ready. I think it'll be ready. We'll do that when we announce the date, I think. Makes sense. But yes, I had a little issue there. I think my Twitter froze or something. But you can hear me okay, right?
Yeah, fine from our end, Jason. Are we seeing any questions on YouTube or anywhere? This is the AMA. I would love to...
Yeah, let's go. I'm looking for questions. And I'm like, with the people in the audience right now, feel free to come up, ask us a question, anything you want. Ask me what I had for dinner. I'll tell you what I had for dinner. It's fine.
I'll ask you what you have for dinner, Jason, since you brought it up.
Okay, so this is what I had for dinner. The back of my house, there's currently a van which is serving pizzas. So I had a wood-fired, handmade, hot pepper. It's like a custom. It's like a jalapenos, pepperoni, hot sauce pizza, basically. It's a hot pizza. Yeah.
There's a food truck behind your house turning out wood-fired pizzas. Am I hearing this correct?
Yes, it's an actual purpose-built wood-fired pizza van. It's like a pizza van, and
I'm pretty jealous.
Yeah,
I'm incredibly jealous.
Like, it's so nice. It's so nice. Like, they make it like right there in front of you, and within like 10 minutes or so, you've got a pizza. I'm like, yeah. So so it's a bit of a treat. Once every 2 weeks he comes around, so we treat ourselves to one of the pizzas. But it's handy because where I live, just around literally the back of our house, we've got this area where he pulls up in. So it's like the laziest thing ever. We just leave the house, get pizzas, and go back into the house. It's like, but it's awesome. It saves us from cooking today, at least.
That's incredible.
What did you have for dinner? It's not even dinner time for you, is it?
No, but today I went to the butcher. If anybody likes a good cut of steak, it's always good to find a good butcher. So I drove out to the farm and got myself a couple of Delmonicos, 1.5 inches thick. Going to grill those with a little salt and pepper. Nothing else is necessary for a good steak. And I went to the farmer's market and picked up some fresh peppers and going to make a salad too. So,
nice.
Just shop local if you can, everybody. This is a bit of a tangent, but always try to support those people that are out there on the land, tending the land. This is a vast diversion from EverRise, though. Like, what the hell is up?
It is. Yeah, for those of you joining now, we're just answering questions. So if you want to come up and just speak to us, feel free to request. Otherwise, we'll just keep talking about our everyday lives.
I can tell you guys a little bit about what I did last night because it does actually relate to EverRise.
Let's do it.
A couple months ago, I spoke on a Chainlink panel, and during that Chainlink panel, I met Ashara from Unstoppable Domains, who you guys know we're partnered with and have integrated into our D apps for logins. I also met Zaji. Well, Zaji and I met a few times in person prior to that panel, but she works at Chainlink, and her and I have become pretty good friends. And like through that panel, that single panel that I did, I also met a ton of folks just like from the LA Web3 community. And one of them, her name is Kate. She is a co-organizer for Crypto Mondays. And Crypto Mondays has a presence across like multiple states in the US. So every Monday in LA, they do a Web3 meetup. And she was, I guess, really excited about what I had to say on the panel, and she asked if I could actually come do like an introduction DeFi 101 talk during one of the Crypto Monday meetups. And I was like, sure, why not? Like, sounds fun, but it needs to wait until a couple more months. Like, there was a lot happening at that time. Like, we had conferences that I was flying out for, we had a ton of meetings. And so we finally set up the date, which was last night. And it was pretty incredible. Like a lot of the photos I've seen from the meetup, it was more small, but last night we had about like 35 people show up, which is, I guess, pretty stellar attendance for Crypto Mondays. And, gave a whole talk on DeFi 101, wallet security, walked folks through EverRevoke, obviously walked them through a little bit of our ecosystem, but broke down, concepts like consensus mechanisms and how do they work. And then, you get into tokens versus coins, and then various networks and different blockchains and how do you bridge. And the talk went really, really well. I received a lot of positive feedback. And after I gave, like the 30-minute talk followed by a Q&A, I was literally talking to individual folks that just kept coming up for about 2 hours. Like I didn't get out of there until like 9, which was crazy. But all of those folks were very interested in what we were building with EverRise. Some of them were developers. Some of them were just folks that were interested in coming into the DeFi space and doing more high frequency trading on chain. And so a lot of people had no idea about EverRevoke and the importance of, I know it's not like the prettiest term, but wallet hygiene. And so that was really, really cool, seeing people pull up EverRevoke, connect their wallets, and immediately just seeing everything that had access to their wallet. So that was super fun.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congrats. That's critical, right? Like in terms of like adoption, we can sit here shilling our projects, to the crypto Twitter that has varying degrees of success, or we can get out there and start spreading the word among no coiners about why like this actually solves problems and why it's a good thing. So major props to you for that. That sounds like a really fun event.
Thank you. Yeah, it was super fun. Kate and I were actually talking. I think we're going to try to put together a larger event where we actually, onboard folks into DeFi, handhold them through creating a wallet. And then like once they create a wallet, I can handhold them through like setting up connecting to EverRevoke so they can start to see like, okay, this is what I need to do every day or every other day as frequently as I'm trading. So really, really excited about that. And I think like that's actually one of the things that I've been pretty stoked about over the last, I would say 2 months, is the fact that we're starting to get out there and attend conferences and events in person. Akuna said it best, like him and TJ are at the Futurist conference right now, and nothing beats getting to meet these people face to face. I've gotten to meet a ton of incredible folks from, the Web3 industry, whether they're from, exchanges or other protocols or layer ones, or even like institutional money that's looking to get into crypto. It's just one of those things where, I think this is also like EverRise slowly and really maturing as a protocol. Like we're starting to have an in-person presence. People are starting to recognize us. Like TJ sent me a selfie with someone I know, his name is Greg. He is basically, I think his title is like chief. He actually might have the same title as me now for Anchor Protocol, which is a massive protocol. And it's just funny because it's such a small world. Like Greg and I know each other from way back in our VR days, which was, 6-7 years ago. So it's been really awesome seeing like all the connections everyone's making. And I think it's going to be something we continue to do and grow and expand into.
Absolutely. There was there are questions coming in slowly but surely. I saw that Crypto News has come up. Hello, Crypto News. Can you hear us? Are you able to unmute your mic? Crypto News. Whilst Crypto News is sorting out its microphone, there was Pepe Grillo on YouTube asks, will there be a new DApp this month? The fourth quarter is approaching, and there are 3 DApps to go. So they're mindful of the roadmap, Jen. Certainly, what I'll say on this is we don't give specific release dates for our DApps. We always like to essentially under-promise and over-deliver when it comes to the rollout of our DApps. All I can say is the dev team are extremely busy working. And on multiple things, not just the one thing. And as soon as we're able to give you anything more, we certainly will give you more information.
Jen, Jason, I'll just add one point to that. Like I mentioned this in the Reddit AMA that we did last week, but the reality is we're probably going to be making some adjustments to the roadmap as the dev team has been exploring other ideas for other DApps that they would potentially like to bring to market first before the rest to have first mover advantage. But the good news is we have a pretty good idea of everything that we want to do all the way through, I would say, mid 2024. So I'll discuss with the team internally to see if we do want to release an updated roadmap. But it's one of those things that, don't worry, guys, there's a lot coming. It's kind of like you even look at things like the V1 liquidity rewards distributor, right? Like when we initially made our roadmap, we weren't thinking like, oh, let's make a whole nother smart contract and add a bunch of functionality to the dApps to do this. But it's ultimately the best way for us to do it.
And so, I almost want to say, Jen, like some of the things that we're working on in the background, it's like, do we actually want to talk about publicly what, at this stage, because we want to get first mover advantage, right? And we want to get it out ahead of anyone else. So, we've got to be very careful about what we say publicly when it comes to what's being worked on behind the scenes, because there are many others that are listening. And we want to make sure that we bring it out to market first. And certainly, that sort of mindset of just essentially just working in this market, head down, focusing on building out the DApps and the ecosystem. You will have updates, guys. You will have updates. But we're not quite ready right now to kind of give you anything further. But the roadmap is there to see what we're kind of got in the pipeline, but we've got much more going on than what you see in the roadmap. I think I'm safe to say that. I think I'm just safe to say that really. It's a part of what the ecosystem is, but it's not the entirety of it. So I'm excited for the time where I'm able to talk to you more about the other things that we're working on, but right now it's best that we just focus on building behind the scenes.
Well said, Jason. Looks like we finally got ourselves a full panel as well. We got Nitsud and Daniel up here. I can't remember who came up first, but Nitsud, I see you've unmuted. What's on your mind?
Hey, Justin, no, actually, I was going to kind of jump on what I think Daniel was saying yesterday and what we were just talking about. I think we're ever spoiled. I think it was Daniel yesterday that was talking about other projects and just the waiting game and the waiting, and it seems like we tend to not announce anything until it's ready to go, and then it seems like we're kind of spoiled in that sense. And I know stuff takes time, and sometimes when we've been around EverRise for forever, Daniel, it's tough to sit in on other projects. But generally speaking, in the DeFi space, stuff does take time. We just have such an amazing team that we get lucky.
Yeah, we are very, very spoiled that we're able to produce the dApps at the speed and the rate that we are. It's incredible, really, that where we are right now after just over a year, like 14 months or so. We've got six fully working dApps out right now, which are being used by people all around the space and projects as well. So, the next 12 months, again, what is in the pipeline and what we've kind of demonstrated publicly in our roadmap are two different things. And like Jen kind of spoken about, like it just makes sense sometimes to focus on certain things first. And, devs have been exploring other dApp ideas in between the launches of some of the dApps that we've got yet to bring out. So, we always will under promise and over deliver. We're not gonna hype things up, but you'll be blown away by the just the sheer ingenuity that exists behind the scenes. And like when you do find out about some of the things that we are working on, it will make complete sense in the respect to our ecosystem and what we're building here at EverRise. It kind of complements everything else that we've had go before it, and everything we build upon it. So we're not too far away from being able to possibly give more information, but we're in this kind of limbo situation now where we're just kind of building really hard behind the scenes.
And I would say I'm more than willing to wait, but as soon as I say that, you'll throw something out of left field that no one was expecting tomorrow or something. So,
well, the distribution.
I'm not worried about it.
The rewards distribution contract that's coming out would take. I'm not kind of going to say it incorrectly here. It would take quite a bit of time for any project to come up with this type of tech, and the way that we're doing the calculations for the Rise rewards that are being distributed over the 5 chains. If you think about all of the information and data that needs to be kind of processed by the smart contract to make sure all the calculations per day are exact, and it's a marvelous feat of mathematics. I'll be honest with you. The distribution contract. Any mathematicians that are in our community, once we release this, and you can actually read the amazing article that was put together, obviously by Buddy and also by Tim. Tim released a long article explaining how the distribution of the rewards are going to be kind of rolled out over the next 480 days, and it's just incredible the amount of brain power behind it. So that in itself is a marvelous work of art. Let alone the apps that we're working on in the background also.
Absolutely, Jason.
Hey,
Daniel,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just had one more quick question. I've been in a few spaces lately where people are just craving some kind of like a set standard across the board for devs. And I know that we have, I don't know what we called it, our Ever not contract, our Ever covenant or whatever for you guys. I know Peter, you wrote some stuff up on that. I don't know if that's something that we're sharing. I don't know if that's something that we're, at least giving people, other projects a roadmap of, so that they can create something similar. Or I don't know. I just and I'd love to point them your direction, but I also don't want to point them your direction prematurely.
No, that's great. I should mention that because I announced this about 2 months ago that I was putting together kind of EverRise Inc. kind of codes of conduct to make sure that
conduct. That was it.
Yeah. So it came out in light of the kind of OpenSea insider trading fiasco, not the one that was sued upon, but it was an NFT thing. And so the first thing that I think everybody in DeFi should agree that is if anybody in EverRise or any DeFi project comes into possession of confidential information, which may affect the material value of any particular asset, we should not be trading on that information. So I've written the policy, and as soon as EverRise Inc. is kind of up and running, it's been formed in Delaware, but we're still doing the nuts and bolts, getting a bank account and stuff. As soon as we're ready to go kind of full on with that, that is something that we will all be signing. And also, we're certainly comfortable open sourcing it so other projects can do it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, there's obvious things that INCs or a corporate entity that is kind of associated with a DeFi protocol, we should just not be doing. And I think that's one everybody can agree on. Like, nobody should be able to take material, non-public information and make a profit on it and just kind of extract value. So in the coming month or two, keep an eye open for things like that to start trickling.
It's like a pledge, isn't it? Almost. It's like a pledge, code of conduct.
Yeah, a pledge. Well, it is a pledge. A pledge is almost a little bit altruistic. It's like you better not do this shit kind of thing. It's almost like
that's why I was saying covenant, but
yeah, I like covenant, but
Covenant, yeah.
But yeah, it is like as a condition. It's also a regulatory thing, right? Like we, as EverRise Inc., don't want to be in a position where we're even saying that we tolerate that kind of behavior, because then arguably there's some attached liability there. So thanks for reminding me. By the way, Nitzad.
Yeah, no problem. And you can call me Dustin. I know it's weird. I know it's strange.
But I love Nitzad so much.
You can call me that too, though. That's fine.
I like
it either way.
When we're not ready to dox ourselves, like the names we come up, that sort of, oh, they'll never figure this one out. I love it.
I think I was just bored.
Daniel,
yeah,
we're almost running out of time. I want to make sure we give you the mic before the...
Yeah, go ahead. I'm out.
Sorry.
No, so I did have a question that it kind of came up when I was driving, and maybe it's already been answered, but it's on Everswap, are all the tokens or coins that are on Everswap, do they abide by the Everown, where they lock up their contracts?
No. So for Everswap, the general requirement is one, making sure that the contract is actually compatible with our swap and that there is a minimum of 100K in the liquidity pool. The way our stance on Everswap is, ultimately this is a utility that we want to offer up to anyone that's building in DeFi, but we have had a lot of internal conversations about, we're going to make it very clear when we put out onboarding graphics that it's not an endorsement. People still need to DYOR and do their own due diligence on these projects. But for us, the most important thing is we want to see the tech being adopted.
Yeah, it's a service we're providing. We're not partnering with any of those projects unless we specifically say we are. We're not partnering with any of them. We certainly aren't endorsing them. But we are wanting more projects to reduce their sell pressure on their charts by using the Everswap feature, essentially by bypassing the swap and liquidify function. So always do your due diligence regarding any projects that's listing on Everswap, much as you would do on any project that's listing on PancakeSwap. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and PancakeSwap, as people probably know, is totally permissionless. Anybody can go and put any old rug or project on PancakeSwap. Obviously, project developers have to interface with us a bit to get on Everswap, but we're very much not in the business here of aggressively vetting those projects. It very much is
judging them.
Right. A lot of projects need a little runway to get going, and so we're happy to provide those services. But doing your own research remains the most important factor.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Quick question here on YouTube about I really love EverRise. I want to purchase an EverRise t-shirt to show my support. Where can I buy it? Eric, stay tuned. We'll have the merch shop open as soon as we possibly can. We'll put a tweet out and we'll pin it in the Telegram and the Discord. But it'll hopefully be with us sometime this month. But yeah, that's the questions on YouTube. Does PancakeSwap have the power to turn off its connection with Everswap, says March? No, we're using the liquidity of PancakeSwap So no, if they would, they'd have to disable their own liquidities for that. No, they.
Unless,
That's a good
Jason,
question.
I don't know. Like, I don't think they would do this, but if the question is strictly a question of ability, could they blacklist the Everswap contract address?
Have they got? Well, I suppose they could, in theory.
But
They
that's
could, but it would have no benefit to them, you know.
and we would raise
And
hell, wouldn't we? We'd be like, "What the hell is this?"
Well, we would
Yeah.
just delist at that point, most
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think they technically could, but it would be antithetical to everything they have said they stand for. And they certainly have bigger problems than Suresh's beautiful technology interfacing with their beautiful technology. So we certainly don't expect it, but it might be metaphysically possible.
It would make absolutely no sense for that to actually happen, but it's a good question. I never thought about it that way.
Obviously, security is the most important
So,
thing.
Jen, I think you'll appreciate this. We're sitting here listening to Space on the lawn outside. A gentleman behind us just asked what space we're listening to. So TJ is now up giving the sales pitch that you guys gave in Miami. So it's happened twice now.
I love that. Let's
We got-
go.
We're at the hour, but there is one more person trying to connect. We'll give Mike a chance to ask the question, but we'll see
This
if
will be
Twitter permits
This will
it.
have to be the last one because we are over the hour now, and
Yep.
I know we've got a couple of calls lined up. So let's
But
see if Mike, are you there? I don't see him on mine.
I see him and it's unmuted, but hearing nothing, we're going to have to conclude.
Yes.
PJ and Hakuna, it was great to hear from you guys from Toronto. Keep up that grind. Everybody else, thank you for the questions. Eric, Dustin, Daniel, everybody else on YouTube and Discord, thank you guys. Please, if you don't mind, do me a favor and retweet that thing pinned in the nest right now. I'm so excited about this event tomorrow. Don't often ask for favors, but please amplify and blow that up, because if we want to become a proper altcoin, these are the discussions that are going to help us get there, in my view. Jason and Jen, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, just to say that Etchell says, hi Jen, I missed your YouTube updates. Well, Jen's YouTube updates will be on Wednesdays, and they'll be via the community spotlight stream that I'll be doing. So all of the weekly updates will be tomorrow night with myself and a special guest joining me tomorrow night, talking about all the awesomeness that's going on in the EverRise community and what's been going on in the EverRise ecosystem. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. Make sure to be on our Discord if you're not already. Jump into our Reddit community, subscribe, and engage with our Reddit posts. Especially check out the ongoing banner competition. And I wish everybody a good day, evening, afternoon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.